Welcome back. This is step 1.5 and the emergency disaster preparedness uh, for individuals and families that live with a functional need. My name is Ray Morris, founder of Dads for Special Kids. And I hope things are going well for you guys, and I hope you took the time and started working on step 1. We're going to finish up step 1 right now, and it shouldn't take us that long. How did things go for you? Did you talk with people in your life and get people to engage and possibly be part of your support system, and look at how you would evacuate from your home? Where would your meeting place be? How would you get people out? How would you notify everybody that there was an emergency or disaster? How you can become notified and be aware of emergencies and disasters going on in your area that may potentially threaten you and have an impact on you. So for us down here in the Southwest Phoenix area, our biggest issue is thunderstorms and power outages. Power goes out in the summertime and it's 110, 115 down here. It's not fun. It gets a little sticky, and people get grumpy and grouchy. And for me personally, it doesn't bother me, but my son Zachary, he doesn't do very well in the heat, excessive heat. It has a tendency to bring on more seizure activity. So we try to work things around him to try to keep him cool and keep him more comfortable as possible, just trying to watch the overall temperature that he's exposed to. So that's some of the things we deal with. You have to look at the things that you deal with that's going to have a direct impact on your quality of life and the quality of life of those around you and that you love and you support and care about. So now back to plans involving other organizations that you're engaged with or that you're involved with. For example, places you frequent, therapy organizations, schools, adult day programs, rehab programs, things like that. Learn about their plans. How did that go? Did you ask anybody to find out what their plan was? And if you did, you probably got some strange looks, and people just went like, never really thought about that before. So you're engaging them. You're causing them to find out about it and find out where are they going to evacuate to, and what is the pickup process. A lot of businesses, a lot of organizations really haven't looked at that or dealt with those kind of things. So your involvement, asking those questions to them, is spurring them to take steps. Okay, so here's an example. Zach's day program. They have to evacuate. They go to their meeting location. Zachary doesn't do well out in the heat, and most evacuation locations are out in the heat. So we've got a little place set up, shaded area pretty much all the time. That's where he can go. Now, how are they going to contact us to let us know we can go pick them up and where to go pick them up at? Typically, it's a phone number, cell phone. Call me. I'm not able to go. For example, I'm at the fire station. I can't break away because of some disaster going on. So our disaster plan goes into effect. Next contact would be to my wife. My wife can't go get him. Who's the third back? Who's the person back to that up? Which, most likely would be our son Tyler or one of Zach's respite providers. And all that information is given to Beyond One's View. It's on their contact sheet for Zachary of what to do in the event of emergency or disaster. For example, if they can't get a hold of anybody, what are they going to do with him? Just leave him on the street corner? No. We've set up with them that he will go with a particular individual from that organization. That organization has accepted the responsibility to care for him in the event of something happens. Now, where would they take him? Where would Zachary go? Well, we've already talked about that. One of two locations he will go. And at those locations, we do have supplies and equipment for Zachary to meet his needs and keep him safe and healthy. It's not going to be the greatest environment for him. It's not going to be like coming here to our home on a typical day. He can go in his room and watch his Thomas or Barney or Blue's Clues or Sesame Street and have all his little things that he likes that keeps him comfortable and peaceful. No, it's going to be a little on the minimal size. We also have backup medications for him, so he will be safe and secure for a day or two if need be, before I or my wife can get to him and go to our sheltering plan, place, and location. So those are all the things that you have to look at. It's a lot of information, and it's hard. It's difficult to take the time and think these things through. But once you start doing it and training yourself that things are going to be a lot easier because you've done it. You know, what is it? Repetition brings on confidence and more refined skills in doing things. Okay, so that's what we have to work on. Okay, having those numbers at those facilities so they know how to get a hold of somebody. Okay, and like I said before, not just one or two people. If you can get 3, 4, that's great. You got to have the backup, so you know that they're going to be taken care of, and they're not just relying upon one person. And then also make sure whoever picks up your individual, that they have some supplies and equipment to care for your loved one for at least a day and a half. Okay, because it may take you that long to get to them, and you don't want them to be stressed out. The more information the person has and the equipment that person has to care for a loved one or somebody that they may not be that familiar with, is going to bring more confidence and security to them, because they have the skills, not necessarily the skills, but they have the resources to care for them. Okay? Incontinence supplies. That's a big one. You know, that's what we have to have for Zach. You know, I wouldn't want somebody to go pick Zachary up, and all of a sudden Zachary has a bowel movement and they don't have anything. Okay, that's not going to be fun. And also, that's not going to make that individual want to care for Zachary if they're not going to have that supplies or equipment or resources to take care of him. So you want to make sure that they have those things readily available for them. Okay. And make sure that everybody knows where that location is to pick them up. Okay. As you go through all this, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. You'll start seeing conflicts. You know, that, hey, I have to be over here, or this person has to be over here. So you can address those conflicts early on and not have to wait till later on to deal with them. Okay, and the more time you can addressing those conflicts, the more confidence and reassurance in your plan, and it's going to build up your confidence in, hey, if something bad happens, we're prepared. You know, we're going to have a healthier outcome instead of it all being reactionary. Because when everybody's reactionary, stress level goes up and anxiety level goes up, and that's not comfortable to be in. So it's just like sports. They practice sports, you know, with your team, so you can perform well in a game. So you have to do the same thing here, is practice it a little bit, because then the confidence is going to come, and then when actually something does happen, your anxiety level is not going to be that high off the chart to say, because you know what to do. Alrighty. So looking at all those different organizations that you're connected with, and find out what their plans are, make sure they line up with your plans, and then so something happens, everybody knows what's going to be going on and what's going to happen. So something you may want to look at also is, when we're doing this with Beyond One's View, is that, you know, because it is an adult day program, is can they be self-sufficient for 96 hours at that facility? If for some reason we can't get to Zachary, is the employees there and is the organization willing to say, hey, you know what, we can be an emergency shelter to say for 96 hours. And so we try to keep supplies there, you know, for 4 days, you know, 4 days worth of supplies at that facility. So, you know, if we can't get to there for some reason, Zachary will be okay. You know, so that reduces our stress level of trying to fight there to get to him, and then get him, and then fight to get back to our shelter, to our home. But if we know that he's going to be taken care of there for 4 days, that makes things a little more peaceful. You know, granted, I don't ever foresee anything like that happening, but it is a backup plan. So those are things you can look at and talk to people around you that say, hey, if I can't get there, can you take care of him? Are you comfortable? What would it take for you to be comfortable to care for him for a day or two, or, you know, all the way up to 4 days? You know, because it's going to take teamwork. It's the old saying, you know, it takes a village to care for a family, you know, and to care for somebody. So it has to be a group process, a group effort. So, okay. Well, that ends it for step 1.5. Step one's big. You know, being informed and looking at your emergency plans, and procedures of how you would get out of your house if it was on fire, who's responsible for who, what's the path to get out of the home, what's your meeting location, how are you going to communicate with each other. Also looking at, the emergency plans, disaster plans for the places you frequent, and what are their procedures and how do their things work, and where's their evacuation location, what's their pickup process, and integrating that with yours and with the support system that you have. That's huge. That's a lot. So please take the time, review this again, review step one again, go through it. It's not going to happen overnight, to say. It's going to take some time, and it's a process. So once again, thanks for taking the time for doing this. I commend you. Not very many people are looking at their own personal emergency disaster plan, and as you're finding out, as you talk with other people, especially agencies and organizations, they really don't have one. So hopefully by you doing this, you could spur them on to developing their plan, which works with your plan, and you support each other. So have a good day. Take time doing this, and I hope to see you back on step 2. And also, don't forget, there's also a new one coming out. It's going to be a self-disclosure. Is it right for you, and how does it work?